Don't look.
Welcome back to the Kris
And Chris.
podcast. I'm your host, Chris Canty, and we have Christopher Byrd as well here with us today. As always, this is the 2024 season opener. So, this is going to be the first of 10 episodes this year that we're going to do with my best friend, Christopher Byrd. Yes, we're two black men from college. Yes, we started at college. Yes, black people go to college. Okay. And yes, you're my best friend, Chris. Don't stop looking surprised.
Okay. Okay.
How you doing, Chris?
I we get in the episode right there, man. I'm just cool with just that compliment. I'm cool there.
All right, that's been another episode of
No,
the
no,
Chris.
no, 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 no. I didn't mean no. No. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm doing better than my bracket right now, but I'm good. My
What's up?
bracket is I don't want to talk about it.
Your bracket is fucked.
Hey, it's all the way messed up, man. I mean, up down, like up down, upside down, man. The bracket turned me inside out. It's bad. It's terrible.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
Week was good. Um, it was nice. It was nice to not have any snow. That was really nice.
Good.
What was good? Good basketball game. Good basketball games over the weekend. Easter's coming up, so we good.
Yeah, my weekend was good too. But yeah, we got my daughter was in Iowa for like a month with her grandparents. So went back for her birthday, and now she's home. She's now sleeping right now because we're recording this at midnight. So um, she's now tucked to sleep. She's safely home.
Hmm.
We made it all home safely last night. So about to start the week again. Back to the bullshit.
Already.
Yep, back to the bull. So, what are we talking about today, Chris?
Well, it's about that time. It's about that time. We are getting closer and closer by the day to the self-proclaimed the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, taking place from Lincoln Financial Stadium in the city that does not show any love for the brothers, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for the for WrestleMania 40. The second time WrestleMania has been to Philadelphia since 15 in 1999, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, 1999. So, well, and by the way, just for a personal request, just have Boys to Men sing the national anthem. That's just my personal request. Just do that again, please. Just do that.
Actually, WrestleMania 15 has been nicknamed Russo Mania
Yeah. If you
for
have
reasons we'll
Peacock,
talk about, on other episodes. But
yeah, just know that we're gonna say that for the we'll say it for a different episode. Over the 40 years of WrestleMania, there have been great WrestleManias. There have been mid WrestleManias. And my God, there have been some bad WrestleManias.
hell yeah.
But on this episode, we're going to talk about the best WrestleManias. So on today's season premiere of Kris and Chris, we're going to go over the top 10 best WrestleManias. Now, out of the great WrestleManias, this is a hard list. This is a harder list than you think it is. And who knows, with the current build right now to WrestleMania 40, when it's all said and done, it might possibly be able to make its way over to one of our lists. Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe, but that remains to be seen. But from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 39, here are the top 10 best WrestleMania years.
So
So
these aren't like ranked at all. These are just our Chris has his five. I have my five, which they might be the same. But Chris will go first, and I'll go second.
all right. So starting off with number 10, I'm gonna go WrestleMania 22 from Chicago in 2006.
Okay.
This event is better than you think it is. It's stacked. It's stacked with everybody from the Ruthless Aggression era, so who I was even still active at the time. And it was one of in fact, it was the last WrestleMania that was in a smaller venue because I want to say it was in Allstate Arena. I want to say,
Yeah, Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Yep.
yeah, Rosemont, which is different from Chicago, but the Rosemont's a suburb. We'll get into that later. So great show before 2007 onwards. stadiums.
Yeah.
Speaking of stadiums, number 9 on my list, WrestleMania 23.
No, I mean you're gonna do one and I'm gonna do one. Blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
oh, oh,
back and forth.
damn, my bad. All
So
right,
it's
go
not
ahead, bro.
really
Go ahead.
it's not gonna be ranked. It's just gonna be you're gonna say one, I'm gonna say one. And then
All
we'll
right,
go.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
my
your
number
first
10,
one is so yours is
22.
WrestleMania 22.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so say that whole thing again. So we can just do, I'm gonna edit this.
All right, say the whole thing as far as what like the
So what's your first WrestleMania? Your first WrestleMania is
all right, so for my list, the 10th best WrestleMania of all time. Re- okay, never mind.
just say the first WrestleMania I'm gonna say is this. That
All
one.
right. So the first WrestleMania I'm gonna say is WrestleMania 22 from 2006 in All State Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. The whole event is stacked, top down, great undercard, great main event. The last WrestleMania to take place in a small venue before taking place in big arenas and big stadiums, as we know today.
Right. They also had what was it? Edge versus Mick Foley in a
Yep,
Extreme Rules match.
yep, the hardcore match. Yeah,
Yeah, hardcore match because it was Ruthless Aggression era. So hardcore match. Um, the ladder match was actually pretty good too. It's
yeah.
actually one
I
of
think
the
that
sleeper ones that no one really remembers, but
it, exactly. I
because
think,
RVD
and
won it.
yeah, I missed the. It seemed to be like a ongoing tradition where you had the Money in the Bank ladder match to open up the show.
Right.
It was such a great tradition. That's the easy way to get the crowd fired up. Easy way to do that.
I'm so sad they got rid of it. And for one of the worst WrestleManias for WrestleMania 27, that was the first WrestleMania without a ladder match for the Money in the Bank. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that show on a different WrestleMania list.
yeah, but the main event for WrestleMania 22, I mean, it could be. I think it's the more forgettable uh main events of all time. But the entrances
Oh yeah,
for that main event, like
oh
the
yeah.
Triple H entrance, Conan the Barbarian. Then you had John Cena come in with the Tommy guns and the old school Chicago like Al Capone type thing. So with CM Punk as one of the extras.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was actually a really good WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have put it on my top 10, but um when you look back at it, and Rey Mysterio wasn't in the main event and he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So I think he should have main evented, but that was like a B show type of main event. So I guess,
Yeah.
you know. And we'll also get to another person who won the Royal Rumble who wasn't in the main event in my first entry, which would be WrestleMania 23 the next year
Mm.
in Detroit, Michigan in 2007.
All right. All right.
Like Chris said earlier, this WrestleMania had literally everything. You had the ladder match to open it up.
Right.
The match with Khali and Kane could have been
Oh
on
my
Raw,
God.
could have been on SmackDown, to be honest.
No, put down velocity. Forget that. Put on velocity.
Put it on a Saturday Morning Slam, Sunday Night
Jesus.
Heat, something.
Oh my God.
Taboo Tuesday. I don't know, something.
Hey, not Taboo Tuesday.
Um, of course, this is the years when the women's matches weren't, you know, given the time of day. But the
It
women's
wasn't.
match could have been. It was Ashley versus Melina. Like that could have been at least a 10-minute match.
If they gave it a better story, absolutely could have been.
A way better storyline, and they used it as a calm down between Donald Trump and the main event, of course. So,
Oh,
and that was the WrestleMania, yes, Chris, with Donald Trump and this Vince McMahon, billionaire versus billionaire,
the battle of the
the
billionaires. Yeah.
battle of the billionaires. Is yes, with Bobby Lashley, with Donald Trump, and Umaga, rest in peace, with Vince McMahon.
And
Great match.
literally, and literally Stone Cold was their guest referee.
Yes.
And when the guest referee gets a bigger pop than both your wrestlers who you're supposed to put in this high profile match, that tells you everything you need to know.
Hmm. But hey,
Tell you everything.
that's what brought people to the pay per view.
Hmm.
It wasn't the WWE Championship, which main evented the show, which
Yeah.
they kind of pushed on the flagship show for weeks and weeks before the show. But it was actually the SmackDown World Championship match that should have main evented this match, with the Undertaker going against the World Heavyweight Champion Batista, which was
Hmm.
the best match on the card that day. It was the best match, and
I'm get.
and you can actually attest to this, Chris, because you were actually in the crowd
I
for
was there.
23.
I was there.
I was outside trying to get in.
Oh, I was in there,
I
man.
was like, let
I
us in.
was
We don't have a ticket. We don't have a ticket. Let us in.
yeah. It's so funny because literally no like literally my number nine is WrestleMania 23. Like I kid you, I'm looking at my notes right now. Literally that was my number nine. So but yeah, I would say in my personal opinion, yeah, the Batista and Undertaker match, because see, like looking back on it, it's a better match than you think it was.
It was a
For
great
that
match.
state, and for that state at that time, by far they had the rivalry of the year by far. That was probably like the best match in their year long rivalry at Mania or so, because they made you think a couple of times that Batista was actually going to beat the Streak or so, and they made you think it was like that close. Now, obviously, the John Cena and Shawn Michaels match or so, that was a great match. Do I kind of prefer their match on Raw a few weeks afterwards in London, but that's just my personal opinion. An hour on free TV. And when you're like 12 years old watching the whole match, oh yeah, it was you kids don't know about that. But yeah, the whole show is great. It was my very first WrestleMania I went to. My dad stayed out in a thunderstorm just to get the tickets and so. And literally when Kane's power had went off, literally I can't remember where we were sitting at, but literally we can feel the heat from where we were at. I was like, damn, that's hot. I was like, ooh, that's hot. It's hot. So, but yeah, that always got me memory. So for sentimental value, it's definitely on my list.
Oh, and of course we have the ultimate bathroom break match of all bathroom break matches. We have the ECW originals versus
Oh
the new breed.
damn! You know what? I forgot that match even happened.
See,
I forgot that match even happened. What the game
I
like 5 minutes?
don't
Hold
know.
on, let me look this up. Let
Look
me
it
look
up
this
right
up.
now before we move on to the next WrestleMania. Because every match on the WrestleMania of these WrestleManias deserves its shine, even the worst parts. You know. So WrestleMania
Yeah.
23, the new age, the new breed versus the ECW
Wait,
originals.
wait.
How long was
I
it?
was 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
That's 7 minutes too long.
7 minutes and 27 seconds. Just for just for context, that match was oh my god. Um, Kurt, you want to take it? How long do you think the Melina and Ashley match went?
I
If
think
you
it was
had to
like I think it
guess,
was like 2 or 3 minutes.
it was 3 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So if we're doing by comparison, a old rehashed already dead ECW got 7 minutes on a WrestleMania card when you could have took those 7 minutes and added to your only women's match on the card and actually make a good story for your championship. But we won't get into all that. But
We're
the
gonna get into that
WWE
another day. Yeah.
WWE was a different place in 2007, ladies and gentlemen. So
Way different place. And we'll talk about that in a few WrestleManias. Um, but yeah, WrestleMania 23, 2007 from Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field is one of my favorite WrestleManias. It's perfect. It gives you good bathroom break, good. You know, there's no bad match on this card besides the Kane Great Khali bathroom break.
yeah,
Even the
and
women's
also
match was captivating, you know. It was like a good
and,
cat fight.
and I will say there was like a couple of comedy skits in that show where like it was Gene Okerlund and Bobby Heenan. with like May Young and Famous Moolah and Bobby. He's like, oh no, don't pull me back, don't pull me back. And he's like closing the door. But
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah, man, goodness gracious. All right, what's your next WrestleMania?
But I just said it. I said two so far.
You said what? You said WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, I said 22, and then I said 23.
No, what's the next one for you?
Oh, but I thought it was
No,
on your list, man.
I say one. No, you say one. I say one. Now you have to say one.
I did just say one.
What?
My first one was WrestleMania 22, and then you said WrestleMania 23,
No,
and
we
then
have
I
five
said this.
each. We have five each. So what's your next one?
Oh snap! Okay, I'm
You're
tripping.
not gonna give 10 WrestleManias. I give five, you give five, and that's the 10. So I already said 23. You have 22.
Oh,
So what's the
oh,
next
22.
one for
Oh,
you?
oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Um, give
Make it
me,
count.
give me WrestleMania. You WrestleMania 24. This is an underrated mania.
We're three-peating right now. We got 23,
This is a
22, 23, and 24.
24 is a very, very slept on mania. It's
It is.
entirely slept on. You had one of the most underrated main events in mania history with Edge versus Undertaker. You had one of the best mid card matches, well, upper mid card matches with Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. You also had John Cena, Triple H, and Randy Orton. You had CM Punk winning his first of two straight Money in the Bank ladder match. You had a very good opener with JBL and Finley. You had the freaking oh gosh, there's a couple other matches that happened that night too.
Batista
But
versus
this,
Umaga.
yeah, and that was like it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't need to be too crazy. It was good. It was very
The
solid.
ECW championship.
That got third. This is what gets me. Last year, you gave them 7 minutes. This year, you give them 10 seconds.
No, you get Bobby Lashley was in the co-main event. He was the ECW champion. That match was like 20 minutes.
Oh no. I meant no. Well, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right.
And then Umaga was the Intercontinental champion at the time.
Yeah.
To like two champions, I don't know. But this year, Chavo Guerrero was like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" And Kane came up
Where's
from
he
the
at?
back and choke
Yeah.
slammed him to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Was like 18 seconds or something.
Let's see.
Like 18 seconds.
11.
Oh damn, even worse. 11 damn seconds
11 damn
for a
seconds. Oh,
championship match.
oh, and also wait. The Floyd Mayweather and Big Show match at
Yeah,
Mania.
the Floyd
That was a
man.
high profile match.
Snoop Dogg was there too. It
Mm-hmm.
was Kim Kardashian was there. It was a good
Yep.
time.
Yeah. This, like I said, this is an underrated mania
It's a
because
mania that should be put in like what we're doing right now, the top 10 best WrestleManias. Yeah.
because here's the thing, the show doesn't get boring. It's consistent, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
I actually like the Edge versus Undertaker main event because finally you had a match on SmackDown that was the main event of WrestleMania, which I actually
Mhm.
cared for because I didn't have cable in 2008. I was watching SmackDown every week. I didn't even know what was going on Raw until they did the Raw rebound. Remember that, Chris? The Raw rebound
Oh yeah, yeah,
that showed what was on Raw. So when John Cena came on SmackDown, it was like a special thing.
right.
So
So basically, for wrestling fans back then, it was like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour from like the crossover with Fairy Odd Parents, and that's a damn good analogy.
mhm,
Damn,
it is.
yo, that
When John Cena came to SmackDown or Triple H came to SmackDown, it was a time.
oh, and guess what?
You know,
Unannounced,
unannounced.
unannounced.
They just came out of nowhere like, wait a minute, he's not on the roster.
Right.
Or when Undertaker came on Raw, that one it was a time.
You knew.
So, but yeah, WrestleMania 24, actually the first WrestleMania in HD.
You're right. From
First
the Citrus
WrestleMania
Bowl.
Yeah, such the first WrestleMania in a long time to be in an open air stadium. I think it was since WrestleMania 9 that has happened at the time. First time it was an open air stadium.
You're right.
So we had WrestleMania
You're right.
9, WrestleMania 24, and then there's some other WrestleManias. Another one that I'm going to say for the next one, which I think is probably the last one that has been a complete 4.5 hours of just complete wrestling greatness and production, was WrestleMania 31 from Santa Clara, California in
I like that.
2015.
I like that. I like that.
Not only you only had 8 matches on the card, these eight
That's it.
matches, like if
That's it.
Triple H and Vince McMahon were like on the same wavelength, this was that WrestleMania.
Mhm.
Besides having Undertaker and Bray Wyatt come out during the daytime, but it's okay.
And besides having Sting lose to Triple H in his first match in the
He sh-
company,
he should have lost. He should have lost. It was a WCW guy. He's supposed to lose in his first match. Same thing happened to AJ Styles. Same thing happened to Booker T.
yeah.
It's a pattern, you know.
See, that WrestleMania the WrestleMania 31 was truly a case of under under promising but over delivered because it was one of the worst built WrestleManias I can remember.
Oh, of
But
course.
when the show happened, you're like, oh shit, this is really good.
When they say we're live, click. They was like, bet, hold my beer. You had Dean Ambrose selling during the ladder match.
Oh, he was selling his ass off.
You had the pre-show, the tag team lumberjack match before that was the best part of the show. Even before the show even started, that lumberjack match was legit hilarious.
It
Uh,
was.
of course, you also had John Cena versus Rusev, a match that I think is the best United States Championship match in WrestleMania history. It's up there with Chris Benoit versus MVP from WrestleMania 23.
You know, I can't disagree on that.
And we didn't even say
And
that for WrestleMania 23. We forgot to Chris Benoit face MVP for the U.S.
it's a
Championship.
it's a sleeper match, man. I'm telling you, it's a sleeper.
It's I think
No,
it's up there.
in the good way, in the good way, in the good way.
Yeah, it's a good match. Yeah,
I forgot because like literally came out on a freaking tank.
he did.
He came out on a tank.
Oh, with the Russian theme song in 2015 after they invaded Crimea or Crimea.
Like
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 you can't make the stuff up.
you gotta have balls for that, man. For real, for real.
You're like, everybody's like,
And
boo.
and like I'll tell you, if Rusev was like if Rusev came out in like 1986 or like no 1983, oh my god, he would have been a perfect antagonist for Hulk Hogan. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that just like forget the Iron Sheik, but no, don't forget Iron Sheik. Forget trying to turn Sergeant Slaughter to a sympathizer. So, but like if Rusev was plugged into that era, oh my god, he would have nuclear heat,
Right.
nuclear.
Yeah. We also had one of the first. This is like it was boiling up. The Divas Revolution was boiling up at this point. You had
Yeah.
AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins, four of the hardest working women in wrestling at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and they only got 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what also happened on this night, Chris? They gave the women 6 minutes, but gave Ronda Rousey and The
Ronda
Rock
Rousey,
15 minutes.
15.
You even had Shayna Baszler even made an appearance that night
Little
with
did we
Ronda
know.
Rousey.
Little did we know.
Yeah, that's true. Little did we know that
Little
they
did
would
we know.
all be in WWE a year later.
Literally.
So, on NXT, of course.
Right.
But it's crazy. You also had the surprising match of the night, which was Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins with
Mm-hmm.
the RKO from out of nowhere, literally. And then we have the ending. The ending of WrestleMania 31, which is probably one of the best endings in WrestleMania history, in my
It's
opinion.
damn sure up there. It's definitely up there.
Like, forget Triple H at the end of 25. Forget um John or Undertaker at the end of 26. Like,
Yeah.
the ending of WrestleMania 31, when Seth Rollins came out with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at that time
During the match.
during their main event match.
It's never happened since.
Never.
It hasn't happened since. So whoever booked it is like a pure genius. And here's the even if you don't have the stuff cashed in, the match itself, and I hate to say it, out of all four Brock and Roman matches and Mania, because there's been four of them, this is their best one.
Is it though?
You can make a case for it.
Because 34 is obviously the worst one.
Oh yeah, by far, yeah, because nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted
I think the
that.
one at 38 too. 38 was good. It wasn't the ending we wanted, but it was a good match.
Yeah, it's like 38 and then got 31. They're like,
30, no, 38 is top because it was both of them at the championships. They were going to unify them. Then there was
yeah.
31 because it was a young Roman Reigns and a returning Brock Lesnar at the time. You know,
And and by the way, at the time they were saying that Brock Lesnar, like here's the thing. A lot of people thought that Roman was gonna win the title because like they never said for sure if Brock was like because Brock's contract was up and he was gonna be going to the UFC, like going back to UFC in a little bit. So they're like, oh, Roman's gonna like just win the title, and then Seth comes in.
actually, Brock Lesnar was on that tour. Remember, he
He
beat
was.
he beat John Cena. He beat the Undertaker. He beat Triple H, and then he was going to beat the guy Roman Reigns,
Mm-hmm.
which also made him look big because he never pinned Brock Lesnar. He pinned Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
So it made
So
Brock look strong, you know, made Rollins look like a genius and made Roman look like a chump.
he did.
So that's what we wanted. And that's what everybody wanted because people were cheering for him. Because
And
if he pinned Lesnar, I don't think he got a lot of boos. I'm just saying.
and and little did we know what Roman would turn into.
Yeah, at the time, heck yeah.
Little
Or
did
Seth
we know.
Rollins, or Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
all three of them.
Yeah. Little did we know.
So, yeah. So that's one of mine. WrestleMania 31 is up there.
All right. Mine and I cannot go I cannot finish this up without talking about these two manias. This mania, I do not care what anybody says, is top three all time from from Seiko Field in Seattle, Washington, WrestleMania 19. Give it to me.
I got you.
This match, well, this whole show is truly a swan song to the Attitude Era. It's like the swan song to the Attitude Era, but the really like the true kickoff of the Ruthless Aggression era. Because every there number one, there's not a bad match on the show.
No, there isn't.
There's not one. Now, if you had changed a couple of things, it's up
Hmm.
there with it's up there with another WrestleMania. But I'm just going to list the names of it. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, WWE Championship, a main event by two SmackDown guys, where SmackDown was legitimately the A show at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You had Vince versus Hulk Hogan in the street fight, great match. You had the Rock and Stone Cold in the third of their trilogy, great match. You had freaking Booker T versus Triple H for the World Championship, which Booker should have won, but it was still a good match. You have a very slept on um fatal four-way elimination match for
Oh,
the tag for the WWE Tag Team
that was
Championships, where
good.
I think it's Los Guerreros versus I think Benoit and Rhino
Yep.
um I, and I think the APA and I think well definitely the world's greatest tag team.
No, you had Team Angle, and then you had
Oh, Team Angle, yeah.
Los Guerreros. It
Yeah,
was a triple
and
threat match. It was a triple
yeah,
threat. It was
triple
a
threat.
triple
My bad.
threat.
Yeah, it was a triple threat match. So, and now, granted, obviously and here's the thing, they had to fit so much action into that match, and it was only 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was only 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Like, imagine
this
if
was
they
back when pay-per-views had time limits, so they had to pack it
right,
in.
right, and not only that, but oh, I can't forget about this match. One of the best Mania matches of all time: Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho.
That's a good one.
If we're talking about wrestling matches that if they were to go into the WWE Hall of Fame, this would be a strong candidate for that because that is just 22 minutes of just brilliance in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Michaels won clean. Jericho got his heat back at the end. Perfect. Great matches. So, and then now to mention so, and yes, I know there's the Undertaker versus Big Show and A Train perform right. And wait, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WWE's favorite band, Limp Bizkit. Rolling, 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 rolling. And then that one time when Nathan Jones came out as a spin kick to I think the Big Show because after training for the match, they said he's not ready. Vince was like, he is not ready. And Undertaker was like, yeah, he's not ready, man.
So we went on a handicap match. This is gonna be a
He was
handicap
not ready.
match.
And the crazy thing is that like another thing is that in the show you have Trish Stratus versus Victoria versus Jazz in a triple threat match for the women's championship,
That was a
and
good
they gave
match.
us it was a good match, and I hate to say it, but before Charlotte, Becky and Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 32, this was the best women's match in WrestleMania history.
Trish Stratus, Victoria, which is one bad chick, and then Jazz ain't no walk in the park either. If you're trying to beat her,
No,
like they
mm,
were amazing women to watch
exactly.
wrestle.
Like I said, this whole Mania, if you watch it from top down, there is not a bad match.
No,
It's not a bad match at all. This is a kind of, if like it's not a bad match at all. It's a great watch. And so it's a true swan song to the Attitude Era, but the start of the Ruthless Aggression era, as we all know and love. So it's a classic show. WrestleMania 19, give it to me.
that's good. I'm gonna go back into history.
Mm,
I'm gonna do this because this was a WrestleMania that, if you go back and look at it in its entirety, you're gonna think of, boy, that happened once. Boy, that happened again at another WrestleMania. Oh wait, why can't that happen again? WrestleMania 10.
it's slept on.
It's a very slept on WrestleMania.
Mm,
1994, Madison Square Garden, New York City. It started off with, by far, which we will do, the top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time. This is going to be in my list. Brett versus Owen Hart, the opener for WrestleMania 10.
hmm
The opener, not the closer, not a mid card match, not for the IC title. This is an opening, just a pure singles match to open the show. 20 minutes
That's all you needed.
strong,
hmm
just tactical wrestling from the Hart family.
That's all you needed.
Of course, Owen beat Brett, to end that feud, which started back in like 1993 or
I
1992,
mean,
actually.
I mean, like I want to say it ended the feud because like they did have
They had,
another
yeah, they had another feud, but this was like, the cake that they made. And the match
so
that they
another
did was like the cherry on top.
okay, that yeah, that's fair, that's fair.
So, yeah, Owen beat Brett, 20 minutes strong. Um, you have Randy Savage versus Crush, Falls Count Anywhere match. Great match. Hilarious. Good times. It's Randy Savage's last WrestleMania match. Rest in peace.
That was
And
his last Mania match
um,
ever.
it's crazy, right? Uh,
hmm
and then of course you have the Doink and Dink the Clown versus Big Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon.
I'm sorry, man.
That was a bathroom break match. But then you go
Yeah,
to, of course, Men on a Mission, which was Mabel and Mo, versus the Quebecers. Let me, let me tell you, this was the dark days of WWE. So they had to do
you ain't
something with
lying.
the tag team
My,
titles.
my, my God.
Poor Babel. Uh, then you have the first of two WrestleMania WWE Championship matches, which is Yoko's. Because before this, they had the Royal Rumble in 1994, which both Lex Luger and Bret Hart landed at the same time out the ring.
Literally,
Literally,
that was not
the
the script.
first, and I'm saying this on this podcast, the first and only time that two men fell out the ring and both feet touched at the same time. Only time. Don't say John Cena Batista because John Cena's feet touched last and he should have won the damn thing. But anyway, in 1994,
Because
in 1994, both feet touched, and that was great theater.
it was.
And this was the culmination of that theater. So the first match was Yokozuna versus, which was the champion at the time. He's been champion, I believe, since WrestleMania 9. So he's going on a year now as champion. Um, Basically 364 days if you count it like that. But Yokozuna was going against Lex Luger first, and Lex Luger won because Lex Luger, you know, disqualification, of course. And then you have the match of all matches for WrestleMania. When you think of WrestleMania 10, you think of Brett and Owen,
Mm-hmm.
and you think of Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
That ladder match, the first WrestleMania ladder match in history. Not the first wrestling ladder match, because there were tons of ladder matches before that. But this was the first WrestleMania ladder match, and it was for the Intercontinental title, undisputed, because they had two of them at the time. He had one. He had one. It was go back and watch the Raw rebounds. All right, so the Intercontinental Championship match for the in a ladder match. That match was a precursor of what WWE would become in the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, this was like revolutionary. People were like, "Oh snap! They have ladders. They're going to use it against each other." Like we're like, "Yeah, of course." I mean, with our mentality now, but back then they were like, "Oh, what are they going to do?" And they brought the house down. And this wasn't even the main event. The main event was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna for the WWE Championship, which of course he
Mm-hmm.
won because it's Bret Hart. We have to have a good guy win in
Right.
1994. So of course Bret Hart won in 10 minutes. So it was a good match. So Yokozuna wrestled twice, Bret Hart wrestled twice. Good time. Two of the
And the
top
thing,
stars wrestled twice
yeah,
that night.
and all of that, but Bret wanted the title after Owen had beat him earlier in the night, or so, which is like perfect storytelling. And you
Mm-hmm.
use that rivalry and you build out all the way to SummerSlam. And I tell you right now, if you have Peacock, go and watch. If you had to watch one match for SummerSlam 1994, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart steel cage match for the WWE Championship, 30 minutes of wrestling
Strong.
excellence. Both men look strong.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the most slept on cage matches in wrestling history. Just do yourself a favor, watch that match. If you don't watch nothing else from '94 SummerSlam, watch that match.
Yeah, just watch WrestleMania night. Just watch WrestleMania 10 and Summer.
That's it.
That's it from 1994. That is it. All right, what's your next WrestleMania?
All right, so I said 22, 23, 24,
No,
and 19.
no, you said 22, 24, and 19. That's only three. I said 23,
Okay, okay, gotcha.
31,
Give
and
me,
10.
give me, let's see, you said WrestleMania 10.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Give me last year's WrestleMania 39.
39. Good choice.
Give me 39. This goes to the trend of WWE doing 2 nights for WrestleMania or so. I personally like it.
Do you like two nights? I'm not a fan of the two nights.
I kind of like it. I like
It's
it.
just too much wrestling.
I mean, I think it's better to do like 2 nights as opposed to like you try to cram in like 17 or 18 matches in one night.
No, but the thing
Like
is, you
how
don't have to do 17 matches. Like we said before, 31 was only eight. It was only 10 matches, with two matches being in the pre-show and eight matches being on the card, which was a 4 hour show. 8 matches in 4 hours is nuts. Like people today can't even fathom 8 matches in 4 hours. But you can do two nights with 7 to 10 matches each night for being 4 hours. It's like,
I
are
I
we really
think
trying to
I think
do quantity over quality? Because that's what it feels like for these last few WrestleManias. It's like you could have
I
took
mean
out so many matches and made
yeah,
one
yeah.
show a 4 hour show.
I think for me, like, and this is kind of like and I'm coming back to it. I think why so much when in the in the glory days or like in the very like at the very peak of NXT, like Black and Gold NXT, with those classic takeover shows like War Games and New Orleans, and so they would have only 4 or 5 matches. That's it, with maybe one or two on the pre-show, better yet, just one. But every match would get 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even one match would get like 40 something minutes. And and those takeovers was truly quality over quantity. Now I like it, don't get me wrong, so but WrestleMania 39, even though like there are three legit match of the year candidates on this show. There's Rhea versus Charlotte, amazing.
That was a good
There is
match. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good match.
great match. You have, in my personal opinion, one, if not the best Intercontinental Championship match of all time with Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus.
Yeah, that was a good
It's
match
damn
too.
sure top three, if you ask me.
That was a good match too.
Damn sure up there. You have obviously got Roman Reigns and obviously Cody on night two. Obviously got that. Um, but this was the second WrestleMania since WrestleMania one to have a tag team match as the main event. With the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which it was
Yeah,
fancy. It
technically it
felt
wasn't a main event, but go ahead.
yeah. I mean yeah,
It,
but like
it ended night one. That's
it
what I'd
ended
say.
night one.
It wasn't the
It
main
ended
event.
night. It ended night one. But for the story and so, and considering that all four men have been literally on and off with each other for the better part of the last year, and
Mm-hmm.
storyline wise, progression wise, it was just perfect. And so, and
It
they
was
gave him
great.
20
It was
minutes
it
of
was a
it.
good match. It was a great match.
Oh, it was a good match. So, and then other matches that got on the card, obviously um um the I think it was Bianca and Oscar. I think that was either night one or night two. I can't remember
It was
exactly.
two. No, it was night two.
Yeah, but that was a great match. So, but yeah, like I said, the Charlotte Rhea match, they've always had great chemistry. That match, the Roman and Cody match. So the Intercontinental Championship match. I mean, those are legit match of the year candidates, all three of them.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. That was a good match
Seven,
too.
it was,
No, I think you're
and
leaving out the best match of the card to me. The best match of the card to me, and I say this with full adoration to the sport and to WWE.
I think I know where
That
you're going.
that men's WrestleMania showcase, the Fatal Four Way.
Slept on.
When I say that should have opened the show instead of John Cena versus Austin Theory, like really, like that should have opened the show. That could have been a precedent for any WrestleMania afterwards. Just put four great tag teams in a match to start off the show.
And just put him in there.
Just
And
let them cook.
And I love what they're doing with like right now because I think they're doing like I think a 16 like go ladder match for the tag team championships. I'm like, this is great because you got a lot of tag teams and you got a lot of good ones. Just put them in the ring and let them cook.
DIY back. They're back together.
Yeah, put them in the ring and put them in. I know, put them in the
Uh,
ring and just let them cook it. So, but honestly, even when you talk about that John Cena Theory match, there was a promo that John said that that even regardless of the results from their match, that it doesn't matter because nobody cares. And over a year later, he was absolutely right. Because Theory won the match, but nobody cares that he won the match. They're like, okay.
Nobody cared.
But and another thing too, this is a strong contender for the best stage design for WrestleMania.
Oh
That
yeah,
stage, I was like, oh my god,
that
it,
stage
like
was great.
The Hollywood set or so, and like the entrances, just really felt like the ramp was just like damn. Thank God the Undertaker didn't have a match that night. You could take a bathroom
Right,
break with that entrance.
right. Man, that was a good show. Really good show. And I'm gonna go to the WrestleMania. And I'm sorry, Chris, for saying this for before you. The WrestleMania that had no bathroom breaks. No
None.
bathroom break WrestleMania is WrestleMania 17. WrestleMania
Yeah.
17. If you're watching this, Corner, go on Peacock and check out WrestleMania 17. If you're in the corner right now, and I know you're watching in the corner, go to WrestleMania 17 on Peacock. You will not have a bathroom break match. I repeat, you will not have a bathroom break match. Especially the opening match. You got Chris Jericho versus William Regal. William Regal. Got the hardcore match. Big Show. Raven. That's right. WrestleMania
Yeah.
17. WrestleMania 17.
Or X7 for those who are millennials who still don't want to accept the fact that they're getting older, like myself.
This WrestleMania was 23 years ago. How do you feel? Old, right? Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
Taz and the APA versus Right to Censor, the one of the worst theme songs in history. Just a damn siren going off for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I was like, God damn, can someone beat them so we can get out of here?
It was so bad. And here's the thing. If you listen real closely, there's like a beat. There's a
Mm-hmm.
beat behind it if you really listen in.
Like, I was like,
But
oh my God, let it
but
stop.
here but here's the thing. The beat actually made it worse.
It did. Then you had the European Championship, which I forgot was even a title. Um,
Damn.
Eddie Guerrero versus Test. Rest in peace to them both. Um,
Yeah.
they both passed away. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. This match, when I say this match, technical proficiency. This
Mm-hmm.
match.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the hardcore match with Kane, Raven, and Big Show. You had opening, you know, humor fest with Chris Benoit and William Regal. You had technical proficiency with Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. Then you had, a squash match between Ivory and China, of course. Women's matches, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
2 minutes, get them out the way. Then you get into the big stuff. You have Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon when their whole storyline with WCW, WWE, and father versus son. Linda being, a vegetable until she stood up with literally the biggest pop of the whole night. Literally the biggest pop of
The
the entire night.
the crowd was thunderous.
Like, all she had to do was stand the fuck up. And
Just
the
like,
whole
ah,
crowd was like, oh shit.
ah.
Dude, he was like this, and the Linda was like,
No, no, no. And the thing is
ah.
like Shane was looking like
Shane was like,
and if you look at Vince like real closely, like like if you look at how he positions like his feet and everything, he's like, okay, it's right there. Like, oh,
it's gonna hurt. Oh,
right.
he
And
sold
then
it.
and then Jim Bob was like, little man had just kicked the billionaire in the family jewels. Or whatever he would say. Shout out to Jim Ross.
And then that was supposed to be the night right there. But no. But wait.
There's more?
There's a TLC match. Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys,
Oh,
the Hardy Boys, all for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And this match had it all.
Everything.
Spot after spot after spot.
It was a spot fest, but damn it, I loved it. They basically said, hey, everything that y'all did in WrestleMania 16 the year before, yeah, just do the same thing, but we're just gonna add like tables and chairs. But just do the same things.
Right. Do the same things. Get a taller ladder, 30-foot ladder, and then jump off that too.
Literally.
It almost kill yourself, but do it for the fans.
Right.
And it was supposed to be done. You thought
Supposed
it
to
was
be.
done. But no, you get Mean Gene Okerlund, Bobby the Brain Heenan for the gimmick battle royal.
That was hilarious.
That's great.
Watch that match and try not to laugh.
Oh, I laugh every time. He was like, by the time he gets to the match, it'll be WrestleMania 38. And I was like, we just passed 38. He still didn't make it to the ring. We're at WrestleMania 40 this year.
Like seriously,
Rest in
man.
peace, Bobby the Brain Heenan, man.
Too funny.
And then you had the one of the matches we even know was a main event. Undertaker versus Triple H. Their first of, I think it was 3 encounters at
Three.
WrestleMania.
Three.
I believe this is the second best of the 3 encounters. Of course, the
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell is the number 1, of course. Number 2 would be WrestleMania 17, and probably the last. I'd say it's the worst one, but it's in ranking of the best matches. 27
Yeah.
is
It's
not their best match. It's the best
it
build, but it's not the best match.
I think well, here's the thing. It's the best match of the night for 27, but as far as their trilogy
Is it though?
matches,
Randy Orton and CM Punk was better than me at
I'll say
27.
second best. I'll say second best, but that's just me. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, this match, there's a fun fact. Do I know why Triple H and The Undertaker were matched up for each other for this match?
Why?
Because and Bruce Pritchard actually came out in an interview and said it. They were put together in this match because Vince booked WrestleMania and did not have either one of them in the show. Yeah, Bruce Pritchard himself said that. Look it up.
Undertaker, I understand because he was going in and out of the company at the time. Triple H, though,
Mm-hmm. Because mind you, there was not that much build,
it
but it didn't
wasn't.
need to be.
Triple H, especially if you won last year's WrestleMania. Like,
Yeah, Bruce Pritchard literally came out and said that the only
major
reason why
statement.
those two, the reason why those two were paired up against each other with very little to no build was because Vince booked the show and forgot to even have Triple H and Undertaker included, on the actual show itself. So
That's
now
wild.
it kind of brings, so now it brings up a what if scenario. Could you possibly have said if somebody was re booking WrestleMania 17, would you have possibly said that the main event for that show instead of Austin Rock, that is Austin Rock and Triple H
No,
as
not
the main
Triple
event?
H. Not no.
That's fair. Well,
You got to understand the storyline between Rock and Austin. Like, there's
mm-hmm.
not going to be a third person in there ever.
Can't do it.
Rock Austin.
That's it.
And the fact that they did the Fatal 4-Way the year before was even wilder. So,
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, this Austin and The Rock. You can take the rest from there,
yeah, you can't
honestly,
insert
because
a third person in that match. It's not happening.
you can't. It was face versus face, the same way that they did with WrestleMania 6, well, with Warrior and Hogan, but 30 million times bigger
And
because it
better.
was literally the it was like the two biggest. When you think about the Attitude Era, you think about Stone Cold, you think about The Rock
Uh-huh.
in Texas for the championship
No disqualification
and
match.
no disqualification and the best hype video pre no build up video with Limp Bizkit My Way. So
It's the best hype video of all time in wrestling
ever.
history, even to
Yeah.
this day.
Still to this day. To this day.
Not even the WrestleMania 30 hype video for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 beats this hype video. The hype video for WrestleMania 17, like that should be in the cinematography class. Like this is how you make a promo video for your championship match at a
Let me
wrestling
put it this way.
at a wrestling
Let me put it
event.
this way. Limp Bizkit probably their most popular song is My Way because of the damn match.
It's true.
Let's call it a buck.
It's true.
Not only would I say that WrestleMania 17 is not just the greatest WrestleMania of all time, not just the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time, but I will say it on this podcast, WrestleMania X7 is the greatest professional wrestling pay-per-view that has ever been produced from any company. I will put that show up against any show.
I want to say produced by any company.
I will put it against any show from any company.
I don't
Like
know.
straight up.
I don't know.
Unless you can show me a show that's better than 17 from a wrestling promotion, for me, that is top
WWE.
because the rep, hmm?
WWE.
Not just WWE, but I would say it's the greatest wrestling.
NXT. Take over New Orleans.
You,
And I'll just drop the mic right there.
Takeover New Orleans is NXT's WrestleMania 17.
It's the best wrestling show produced. Because even
Of all,
WrestleMania 17 had China versus Ivory.
okay.
Disrespectful for women's wrestling. Even though you had the best women's wrestler on the card, Ivory did not show her best moves against China because she couldn't. It was China, for goodness sakes. But at
Huh?
WrestleMania at NXT New Orleans.
Wait, was it in wasn't it like oh shit, it was Shayna Baszler versus what Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon on that show?
I believe so.
Wait, let me look this up.
Yes, it was. I'm looking at it right now. It is yeah, Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. She beat her by TKO.
This show, I would say any like we should do it like another episode of that, like best NXT takeovers. Good God, there's been so many good ones.
It's literally the best show WWE has ever put together. And I'm saying this above WrestleMania 17. WrestleMania 17 is the best WrestleMania they put together. NXT New Orleans Takeover is the best produced show WWE has put together because everybody gets their shine. Women, tag team, men's single, men's secondary championships, even hell, even metrosexual and gay people got their shine that night
Yeah,
with Velveteen Dream. You cannot dispute
I
this.
you know
He had a
takeover
spot,
do
Chris, a spot. He jumped off the 20-foot ladder onto, was it Lars Sullivan? He
yeah
jumped onto the ladder. He
take
was like, so,
take over
he was like,
take
mm,
take over New Orleans legit brought me back to wrestling.
okay, I can
It,
understand.
it brought me back because like here's the thing. With the first match of Takeover New Orleans, they gave the first match 30 minutes.
31 minutes and
30,
24 seconds.
it was better than all of 34.
Oh, yeah, there was a WrestleMania the next night, wasn't there?
The next night. And I was like, how the hell are you gonna top this?
The hype package for NXT Takeover, the Rock concert before the show even started was even better than Hogan and not Hogan, but Roman and Brock Lesnar the night next. I don't care about that damn
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
But yeah, but honestly, I would say this. You might be onto something. I
I'm
got a
just
soft spot
saying,
for
it's their
I
best
got a
produced show.
I have a very soft spot for I have a very soft spot for 17. There's a poster literally in my room with WrestleMania X7. But Takeover New Orleans is a classic. If we're talking about wrestling,
Wrestling, not
that
entertainment.
and it's
Wrestling.
yeah, because there's literally there was only how many matches on this
You
card?
had the
One,
turn of
two.
Roderick Strong to
That
join the Undisputed Era on that night.
and and they were hinting it for months.
Come on.
Yeah, and they was like, "Is he the third man? Is he the third man?"
Then you had, of course, Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas, which is probably one of the best main events I've ever seen on a takeover.
Well, it was the semi main event.
No, it was the main event because the unsanctioned match was unsanctioned. So it was unsanctioned, so it's not a real match. It was just a match after the main event.
Yeah, but just
That went 40 minutes. 20 minutes too long.
nah,
But hey, no, it was 20
it
minutes
it
too long. It was 20 minutes
it,
too
it
long.
needed it. Nah, it needed it.
No, it was 20
It needed it.
minutes too fucking long
The only thing that I
because
wish
it was unsanctioned.
the only thing I'll say with Takeover is that if the pandemic had never happened, I really feel that we would have gotten the very first NXT Hell in the Cell match with Ciampa versus Gargano to definitively end that rivalry.
Yeah.
But that's just again that's a coulda, shoulda, woulda. But in regards back to this list, 17, it's
17
amazing.
is 17 is the best WrestleMania put together in history.
Period.
Period. In history.
Period.
For now. We gotta wait.
Hmm.
So we gotta wait till next week. 40 might surprise us. You never know.
It might.
It might. So yeah, what's your next WrestleMania? What's your last WrestleMania actually?
Well, you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier or so. Um, you know, I'm not going to talk about 30. Let's talk about WrestleMania 21.
Okay.
Talk about WrestleMania 21. The best undercard in WrestleMania history. One can argue because you got Eddie and Ray, you got Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, you have the very first Money in the Bank ladder match,
Yeah.
you have there's another couple of matches on the card too. I think it was a tag team title match, I believe. Can't remember who was in it. Um,
You had Jericho and no, you had Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle.
yep, just said that. Oh no, wait,
Randy Orton versus Undertaker.
yeah, you got him. Yeah, you got that match too. So, um, Trish versus Christy for the women's title. Um,
Mm, mm.
yeah, and yes, you had freaking Aki Bono versus the Big Show, which was okay, but they did right. And you know what, Chris? You want to why I know what they did right? They gave that sumo match 1 minute,
Oh, of course.
and they gave the women 5 minutes.
Which wasn't even a match. It was like a was it 10 woman? I don't
Nope, it
remember
was a
what it was.
match. Nope, it was a
Which
singles match.
who?
Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme. It was a singles
Who?
match. Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme.
Who's Christy Hemme?
She won the Diva Search like that same year, or
Okay,
she
who
won the year
okay,
before.
all right, who cares? It's Christy Hemme.
Hey,
It's
hey,
Diva
come
Search,
on, man.
whatever. Who cares?
She she's been around a lot.
No. Trash. That's why she lost.
Well, damn.
Trish Stratus versus anybody. I'm picking Trish.
And but see, here's the thing, like the undercard definitely delivered. And the main event, I mean, John Cena being JBL 10 minutes, okay, we get it. But the the World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H versus Batista, um, with a storyline that was literally building for like the last year and a half.
Mhm.
It was great. It was a slow. This was long term storytelling. But one of the best face turns in WrestleMania history when Batista had like powerbomb Triple H to the table and always paid attention to the mic just like flying all over the places. So and the thumbs down treatment. Yeah, this was Triple H putting Batista over in the big way on a main stage. So it really felt like, hey, these are like your top stars. If you want to watch a Mania that you can point to and say, this is where such and such became a star, watch WrestleMania 21 because John Cena and Batista were like, you could say, were the biggest stars of that era, of the Ruthless Aggression era. And this was when they really became stars. So all in all, it's a very solid WrestleMania top down with only 9 matches. Just 9. And fun fact, there is not a tag team match on this show.
There is it.
There's only one multi-person match, and that's the Money in the Bank. Everything else is a singles match.
Hmm.
And I like that.
It's good. Yeah, that's real good. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, 21 was a really good WrestleMania. Um, of course, like you said earlier, there was the ladder match, which Edge won and cashed in on John Cena at New Year's Revolution
Mm-hmm.
2006. Um, it was the night where the ruthless aggression era really took its hold on WWE. Like the speech was done in like 2002, right? When he got everybody in the ring. And that was a time where the Attitude Era was kind of like fizzling out. Then 2003, you still have Attitude Era stars. 2004, of course, was like the last hurrah of the Attitude Era stars with Rock and Stone Cold's last WrestleMania for a time. Um, and then you have, of course, WrestleMania 21 with New Blood, all New Blood. Edge winning Money in the Bank, Batista winning the world title, John Cena winning the WWE title. It's just a passing of the torch in Hollywood. And that's why I think 21 is actually one of the better shows.
Mm-hmm.
In my final WrestleMania, it was a toss up between three of them. I had WrestleMania 3 for Pontiac, Michigan. Go back and look at it. I could actually sit down and watch the entirety of WrestleMania 3 without skipping a match because it was that entertaining to me. And of course, you have the Intercontinental match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage, which was the match of the night, in my opinion. It
By
wasn't the
far.
it wasn't the pushed match that everybody wanted to see. Not Rock, Hogan versus Andre. But yeah, it was a great show. 93,000 people packed the Pontiac Silverdome. It was a great time. I also had WrestleMania 30, which could have. I'm not a fan of WrestleMania 30. I hate the show. Worst show in my opinion.
Oh my gosh. That's a hot take.
First WrestleMania on the WWE Network. Um, Rest in
That
peace to Paul Heyman.
was.
Um, just wasn't a fan of it. People love it. John Cena's worst match, Bray Wyatt's worst match as well. That
Oh my
match on
gosh.
that night. Undertaker lost, of course. That's what we remember the night most for, not Daniel Bryan winning the title. We remember for Undertaker losing his first match. Um, Again, the Divas match, trash. Um, and then the best match of the card was basically Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. It wasn't the main event that Bryan was also in against Randy Orton and Batista. It was the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan match. That was the best match
That's
on the
def-
card.
that's definitely one of the best opening matches in WrestleMania history.
And then the rest of the show was blah. So I don't know why people say 30 is one of the best WrestleMania matches. But I will say my number is not my number one, but it's the last WrestleMania we're going to talk about today.
I want to hear
It's
this one.
it's going to be WrestleMania 25 for sure. 25 for sure.
Oh,
From
oh,
top down, without knowing the stuff behind the scenes. Just watching the show. Great show. You had Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. You had Chris Jericho versus three legends and Ric Flair, beat all of them, then get his ass beat by Mickey Rourke at the end.
He did.
Then you had the ladder match, which was one of the better underrated ladder matches in WrestleMania history. With CM Punk winning that one as well.
Yeah, back to back too.
Um, like I said, you had Matt and Jeff for the Extreme Rules match, which Matt won. He shouldn't have won, but he won. Great
No,
match,
no, he should. No, he should have
great
won.
match. But then you had one of the worst. I will say this: the worst matches in WWE history
Oh,
was on.
that's saying something.
It was on this show, but it doesn't dilute the whole WrestleMania though, because it was a funny match. It was when Santino Morello won the women's Miss WrestleMania match.
Oh my, oh my gosh.
It was comedy, but it's kind of messed up that you had so many great women in that match that
So
you could have
many.
had two women's matches on that show because you had
Two.
you had two women's championships. You could have did it then.
This is WWE 2009. This ain't
2009,
WWE
y'all.
right now. That would have been huge.
Huge for the time. I mean, a little late, but
Yeah.
WrestleMania 25, man.
You, you, you
I didn't even talk about the main events yet. You had JBL lose the Intercontinental Championship in 18 seconds to Rey Mysterio,
that was
and he
hilarious.
quit right afterwards
In Texas, in his hometown.
in
So
Texas, right?
I quit.
And then you had the main event of the show
Indeed.
that was third from the last match, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, their best match in the two-part series.
Mm,
It's their
you
best
can't
match.
you can't go wrong with either one, honestly.
No, you can because this match at 25 was just a singles match. They weren't even doing it for anything. They was like, I'm the best, I'm the best. Let's see who wins. The next match later was for a streak, and then the career was on the line. So of course you're gonna get like, okay, this is my last ditch effort. The match at 25 was just pure wrestling. Nobody cared. But this is a great match. Boom. 30 minutes of pure theater. That's what it was. That's why this match is the better match of the two.
But wait, the show's supposed to end there,
Oh
but
no.
there's more.
Oh no, there's more. You had the SmackDown main event, which was John Cena, Big Show, and Edge for the world title. Now that story, that's just a story making WrestleMania was like mind blowing, but it made it there. Okay, great backstory, great lead up to the event. Then they had the main event. John Cena picked both Big Show and Edge up on his back,
Literally.
and attitude adjustment. John Cena wins. Good guy wins. Blah 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 blah. Then you have the
Until
Raw,
he
the main
until he
event.
were to lose it 3 weeks later
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah.
And then the Raw main event: Triple H versus Randy Orton. Also, great build to this main event.
Such a great build.
Great build. Such a great
Such a
build.
great
We
build.
thought that Randy Orton was going to get his ass beat, but no. PG, everybody. If Triple H gets disqualified, he will lose the title. I was like, man, this
That ruined everything.
ruined the entire main event. But the match was still great.
Uh,
What I want to see Randy Orton get his ass beat, a prime Randy Orton get his ass beat. Yes. But
this
for the time period, taking out all the behind the scenes, what the screwed up stipulation, all that stuff, that was a great match to end the show. Now,
uh,
would I have put the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels match last? Yes,
oh 100%. 100%.
yes. But overall, 25 was actually the first. I'm putting this on this. This was the first WrestleMania that I personally bought and purchased. This is why this was in my list. So this is my favorite WrestleMania. I could watch this backwards, forwards. I know every match, every word that was said, every move that was made. This WrestleMania is amazing.
Honestly, like this may be a hot take. I would have preferred for Orton to actually win that match. Now, I know WrestleMania always gonna end on a happy note, but does it always have to?
Yes.
I mean,
In this case,
sometimes when it
yes. In this case, yes. It was a PG product.
well, yeah, and like, but yeah, like that, it was an intense feud, an intense build up. What they really should have done, as opposed to like that weak
He kicked
stipulation,
he
so just
kicked Vince McMahon in the head, almost killed Shane
he
McMahon.
DDT Stephanie,
Then DDT
he
Stephanie
DDT Stephanie.
brought Triple H out here, cuffed him to the ring ropes, and kissed his wife in front of him, his unconscious wife in front of him. Yes, he should have lost that damn WrestleMania.
And all that. Here's the funny thing, so people talk about heels and everything, but 2009 Randy Orton was
Oh,
just a menace,
menace.
a menace to society.
I can't trust Randy Orton to this day.
Huh?
I can't trust Randy Orton to this day after what he did in
Hell no.
2009.
That's literally no. Forget the black Air Force energy. That is black fearless energy. If you see a
Like,
dude walking in black fearless, just avoid him at all costs because you probably gonna get hurt.
true.
You probably gonna get hurt or so. And but yeah, this I think was like the first Mania to actually be in Houston because the other time where they went to
Yeah.
Texas,
No,
they went to Dallas.
no. WrestleMania X7 was in Houston
Oh, duh, well,
at the Astrodome.
duh, Chris.
It was the
Um,
second. It was the second one in Houston.
that was the second one. Yeah, it would be nice to see another Mania go back to Texas, but honestly, that won't be happening for a very long time. Um,
That just happened 2 years ago in Dallas.
no, no, I meant like Houston. Because Dallas gets
Oh,
all the good stuff.
Houston, Texas. I was like, it was just in Dallas 2 years ago.
I know, but like I don't know, like I think out of all the cities that WrestleMania has been, like out of all the cities that WrestleMania has been at, I think it's been to
Houston,
Texas
Houston,
the
Houston hasn't hit. Houston hasn't missed yet. You had X7 and 25. So
yeah yeah I think they've been to Texas the most out of all the manias
Texas was
because Detroit has two.
Detroit area has two.
The
Detroit
Detroit
Atlanta.
area has yeah. Dallas had well no Texas as a whole has
Two Houston, two Dallas. So that's
yes
four.
that's four. Oh well, we'll do the math later, but yeah, it's a good list.
California, I think, has the most.
Yeah, I think so, but
You had two, 7, 12,
12,
16,
16,
21,
um, 21, so that's five. 39,
39, 31. That's
so
7.
that's seven. And yeah, I think they have had the
I think
most.
California has the most. You can say New York, but New York they had 1, 2. Actually, California was in 2 as well.
Yeah, because like two was in it was in Cali, New
It
York,
was
and it
this,
was in
so it
Chicago.
was 2, then 7, then 12, then 16, then 21, then 31. That's a lot. That's like 8 right there.
Yeah,
So I think California has the most. After with New York, because New York had 1, of course, 2, 10, 20,
20.
and then 29, and then 35. That's only like 5. So it's a lot.
Big time. But yeah, I like the list. I like it.
Lying. It's California. But yeah. Yeah, I like the list. So let's go back over the list. We have WrestleMania 22 live from the Rosemont Horizon, aka Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. We have WrestleMania 23, live from Detroit, Michigan, at Ford Field. We have WrestleMania 24, live from Orlando, Florida, Citrus Bowl. We have WrestleMania 31 from Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. We have WrestleMania 19 from Seattle, Washington, Safeco Field. We have WrestleMania 10, live from New York City's Madison Square Garden. We have WrestleMania 39, live from Los Angeles / Inglewood, SoFi Stadium. You have WrestleMania 17 from Houston's Astrodome. WrestleMania 21 from Los Angeles' Staples Center, not Crypto.com Arena, Staples Center. And last, we have WrestleMania 25 from Houston's, at the time was called the Reliant Stadium. Now it's called NRG Stadium. So those are our top 10 perfect all-time WrestleManias for WrestleMania week. This has been another episode of Chris.
And Chris.
See y'all next time.